Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the October 23rd, 2024 Pittsburgh Board of Public Education and Pittsburgh Mount Oliver Intermediate Unit Legislative Meeting. Would everyone please rise so that we can salute the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, before everyone sits down, we will turn the meeting over to Ms. Portia Martin for a special presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Tonight's Legislative Board meeting begins with a celebration and recognition of the outstanding achievements within our Pittsburgh Public Schools community. First, we would like to celebrate Mike Dean, Community School Site Manager at Pittsburgh Langley. It's okay if you give him a round of applause. Mike Dean was named for one of the new Pittsburgh Courier's Men of Excellence honorees. This prestigious award recognizes local African-American men who inspire others through vision, leadership, and exceptional achievements. Mike's dedication to community service inside and outside of the school district exemplifies what the Men of Excellence Award embodies. He truly represents the best of our Pittsburgh Public Schools community. As a proud graduate of Perry High School, Mike is a shining example of PPX excellence. Please join me in congratulating Mike Dean on his well-deserved recognition. And next up, we would like to extend our heartfelt congratulations to two amazing educators, Dr. Lauren Freeman and Mr. Christopher Snyder, educators at Pittsburgh Dilworth. They're being recognized for their outstanding achievement in completing the prestigious Yale National Initiative. Their participation in this intensive and highly regarded program is a testament to their dedication to professional growth and their commitment to enhancing the classroom experience for their students. The Yale National Initiative offers a unique opportunity for educators to collaborate, learn, and develop impactful curriculum units that are shared with schools across the country. Dr. Freeman and Mr. Snyder have not only deepened their own expertise, but also contributed valuable resources to the broader educational community. This October, actually this weekend, they will return to New Haven for the program's culminating event, where their hard work and their contributions will be honored. Their achievements reflect their ongoing commitment to excellence in education, and we are excited to see how their new insights and innovative ideas will further enrich learning at Pittsburgh Dilworth and beyond. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Lauren Freeman and Mr. Christopher Snyder on this remarkable accomplishment. And that concludes your DA awards. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Martin, and congratulations again to our special guest today. Just a side note, Dr. Freeman and Mr. Snyder taught my little girl when she was at Dilworth, which just reminds me of just how old we're all getting, unfortunately. But I am thankful for the teachers that are changing the lives of our young people years and years and years, and it just keeps going. So thank you all very much. We will now begin with the Pittsburgh Mount Oliver Intermediate Unit Legislative Meeting. Mr. Weiss, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Parker?
Present.
Ostrowski?
Here.
Dr. Reed?
Here.
Ms. Stoke?
Here.
Ms. Talaferro,
Here.
Mr. Udine,
Here.
Ms. Wilson,
Here.
Ms. Yord,
Present.
Mr. Walker.
Here.
All members present.
All right. Will board members please turn to the minutes from September 25th, 2024? Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions? All right, seeing none, I'd like to have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the September 25th, 2024 legislative meeting for the Pittsburgh Mount Oliver Intermediate Unit.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Petrusky and Mr. Barker. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Minutes stand approved. The committee report on business and finance, including agenda items 24.01 through 26.02, are before you. Are there any questions or comments on this report? Seeing no further questions or comments, do we have a motion or a second for a vote?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Barker. Mr. Weiss, can you please call the vote?
Barker,
Yes.
Ms. Petrosky,
Yes.
Dr. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Silk,
Yes.
Ms. Talaferro,
Yes.
Mr. Udine,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Yord,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Unanimous approval.
Thank you. Item 27.01 is the Pittsburgh Mount Oliver Intermediate Unit Personnel Report for October 2024. Are there any questions or comments on this report? All right, seeing none, can we have a motion and a second for a vote on the personnel report?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson and Ms. Petrosky. Mr. Weiss, can you please call the vote?
Barker,
Yes.
Ms. Petrosky,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Silk,
Yes.
Talaferro,
Yes.
Mr. Udine,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Yord,
Yeah.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Unanimous approved.
Thank you. Item 28.01 is the Pittsburgh Mount Oliver Intermediate Unit Financial and Travel Report for September 2024. Are there any questions or comments on this report? Seeing no further questions or comments, I'd like to have a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Petrusky and Mr. Barker. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Ms. Solak, you've done it again. You've given us nothing to question. Now I would like to call to order the October 23rd, 2024 meeting of the Pittsburgh Public Schools to order. Mr. Weiss, can you please call the roll?
Barker,
Present.
Ms. Petrosky,
Here.
Dr. Reed,
Here.
Ms. Silk,
Here.
Ms. Talaferro,
Here.
Mr. Udine,
Here.
Ms. Wilson,
Here.
Ms. Yord,
Here.
Mr. Walker.
Here.
All members present.
Thank you. Will the board members please turn to the minutes? Today we will be approving the minutes from the September 25th, 2024 legislative meeting. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions? Seeing none, can I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Talaferro and Ms. Wilson. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes stand approved. At this time, I'd like to read the executive session statement. In addition to the executive sessions announced at the legislative meeting on September 25th, 2024, the board met in executive session on October 16th and immediately prior to this legislative meeting to discuss various personnel matters that may include but are not limited to administrative vacancies and positions opened and closed. The board does not vote at executive sessions. The committee report on education is before you, submitted by Dr. Tracy Reed, chairperson, and the committee. The report includes agenda items 5.01 through 8.16. If you would please turn to agenda item 8.16, I'd like to give you the student expulsion numbers for this month. One student was expelled out of school for 11 or more days. Under the education section, there were no items noted for further discussion at the agenda review meetings. Are there any questions or concerns that have come up in the meantime? Seeing no other comments, do we have a motion and a second for a roll call vote on the committee report on education?
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Ms. Talaferro and Ms. Petrosky. Mr. Weiss, can you please call the vote on the committee report on education?
Barker,
Yes.
Petrosky,
Yes.
Dr. Reed,
Yes, on the report as a whole, and I will abstain on item 6.06.
Ms. Silk,
Yes.
Talaferro,
Yes.
Mr. Dean,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. York,
Yeah.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Board as a whole is approved 9-0. Item 6.06 is approved 8 yes, 1 abstention.
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. The committee report on business and finance is now before you, submitted by Ms. Emma Yord, chairperson, and the committee. The report includes agenda items 9.01 through 12.06. There were no items noted for further discussion under the business section at agenda review. Are there any questions or concerns at this time that were not answered? Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion and a second to approve the report on business and finance?
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Ms. Petrosky and Ms. Talaferro. Mr. Weiss, can you call the vote on the committee report on business and finance?
Barker,
Yes.
Ms. Petrosky,
Yes, on the report as a whole, and I need to abstain on item 12.02.
thank you. Dr. Reed,
Yes.
Silk,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Mr. Dean,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. York,
Yeah.
Walker.
Yes.
Board's approved 9-0. Item 12.02 is 8 yes and 1 abstention.
Thank you. We will now move on to the Human Resources Report, item 13.01, including addendums A and B, submitted by Ms. Sylvia Wilson, chairperson, and the committee. Are there any questions or comments on this report? Seeing no further questions, can I have a motion and a second for a roll call vote on the Human Resources Report?
Motion. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Barker and Ms. Wilson. Mr. Weiss, can you please call the vote?
Barker,
Yes.
Petrosky,
Yes.
Dr. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Silk,
Yes.
Talaferro,
Yes.
Mr. Dean,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. York,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Report's approved unanimously.
Thank you. I'd like to call to the board's attention item 16.01, the financial statements, and 16.02, the controller's report for the month ending September 30th, 2024. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 16.03, which is the EBE report. Are there any questions or comments on this report? Excellent. That concludes our legislative agenda. Are there any announcements from board members that do not require a legislative vote? Ms. Silk.
Thank you. According to the Jewish calendar, the holiday of Shmini Atzeret began just a little while ago at sunset today, so Chag Sameach to those who are celebrating. This holiday marks the one-year anniversary of the Hamas attack in Israel, and reactions to this conflict have propelled anti-Semitic acts that were already on the rise. I'm personally saddened and concerned that someone or someone's vandalized the plaque outside Alderdice High School that memorialized the 11 Jewish Pittsburghers murdered while praying. And I appreciate the district's efforts to install a temporary replacement while we wait for the permanent replacement plaque. It has been historically true for minority groups that when we allow bigotry to fester, when we are silent about discriminatory speech, when we downplay targeted property damage, acts of physical harm follow. We already have examples of attacks on visibly Jewish neighbors, including university students, and I am committed to ensuring that this is not our fate here at Pittsburgh Public Schools.
Thank you, Ms. Silk. Other announcements? Ms. Wilson. Oh, Ms. Petrosky.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Walker. This is not necessarily my announcement to make, but nobody from the city of Pittsburgh is here, so I'm going to do it anyway. Well, I guess Devin is here, but not your department. But the Brownsville Road Corridor Safety Plan has been published and is now on the City of Pittsburgh's website. And a lot of work went into this. And so I just wanted to share that it is available because the city also updated their website. So folks may or may not have some difficulties accessing it right now. But it does have some details in there about some improvements to the Brownsville Road Corridor, which impacts, a lot of our students, obviously, and that changes are expected to begin in 2026. And so I think it's just something that constituents and people who work there and residents and et cetera, can really look forward to. So I just really wanted to put it out there that the plan is available for everybody to see and encourage our families to take a look. So thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Wilson.
Thank you. 3 things. One, I want to remind everybody to vote, and if you have a mail ballot and haven't put your stamp on it yet, there are quite a few places around the county where you can drop those ballots off, including at the county office building downtown, CCAC in Homewood this weekend, Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 5. You actually, if you want to, you can actually apply for your mail ballot and vote right then and there. So you have many options to make sure you get out and vote. Second thing I have is that I wanted to highlight the fact that Angela, Mike, and her crew were able to coordinate a wonderful Explore Pittsburgh Tech Week Youth Day, which was held down at the waterfront last week. It was for students in grades 8 through 12. There were 250 Pittsburgh Public School students in attendance, and we saw all types of innovation using technology. There were so many. I walked around. I should have taken pictures, and I usually do that, and I didn't this time. But they actually could paint virtually for those who were looking into that type of activity. They had 3D pens where the students were actually making and creating designs, writing their names, but it was actually 3D, and they had a piece done, and they were having great fun. And various types of robotics, not just developing the robots, but actually with some of the smaller robots, programming them to go across certain paths. The thing was, they were all engaged, and there were so many different types of activities for them. Everybody had a wonderful time, learned a lot, and the adults there, of course, were just as impressed by the involvement of the students. So I want to give kudos again to our CTE people, who they always do a great job in providing wonderful opportunities for our kids. And my last, which everybody's been sitting here waiting for me to say, I just want to acknowledge that Coach Dante and his coaching staff at Westinghouse have created a wonderful team of boys. Coach Dante took the blame because 2 weeks prior, there had been an incident during a game, and the whole team that was not on the field at the time, only the offense was, they went over to support and help their student. Their fellow player. Unfortunately, because they all left the sidelines, they were all suspended a game. And our students, our team, the team was left with only the offensive team that were allowed to play in last week's playoff game. And I'm giving kudos to the coaching staff because they had 1 week to work with those 11 students. 11 of them played offense. 10 of the same 11 also played defense. And the score at halftime was 60-0 in favor of Westinghouse. They came back, they shortened the quarters in the second half. Westinghouse ended up scoring 8 more points. It was an exciting game. We feel badly for our Perry students. But, Westinghouse has been a powerhouse over the last few years. But again, I'm giving kudos to the coaching staff for working with these young men. They're not just learning football, but they're also learning to be young men. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any final words? All right. Well, just a reminder, City League football championships are this Saturday at 3 o'clock at Couple Stadium, Alderdice, and Westinghouse. So let's fill up those stands. I'm sure that they will be. Those schools usually come out pretty good. And I think that's it. So since there are no other announcements, I will entertain a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Talaferro and Mr. Barker. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody who wants to stay, you're on your own. This meeting is now adjourned. Have a good night, everyone, and be safe.